know, I saw a fascinating piece of graffiti once. It said, "Free John Hinckley, because every American deserves a second chance." Now, I don't feel that way personally, but we do have a young man on who's playing John Hinckley in a strange musical.
A very strange musical.
Why would you make a musical about assassins?
About presidential assassins? I don't know. You'd have to ask Stephen Sondheim and John Weidman.
And has it been produced other than the production that's about to start here?
The Playwrights Horizon in New York was the first production. It happened during the Persian Gulf War. Over 10,000 people saw it in 73 performances.
Hoping that it would induce somebody to take some action.
Critics hated it. The press didn't really know how to deal with it. But people just lined up around the block to see it. It closed after 73 performances. And
why did it close? Just
I don't know.
You don't
so that would be Sondheim's most recent work, right?
They're still working on it.
Wow.
Oh, they are?
Yeah,
so this is
work in progress.
Are you getting like papers every day at your show?
Oh, no.
No, in fact, Signature Theater is having to write their own orchestrations for this piece, actually, because they don't even have them.
Wow.
Wally plays Hinckley. Suzanne plays Squeaky Fromm.
Right.
Whose sad task it was.
Produced by Signature Theater. Sorry.
Yes, all right. I'll get back to my one idea.
Was?
Squeaky Fromm was the poor assassin, or would-be assassin, who tried to shoot Gerald Ford, but Gerald Ford being so bumbling that his aura surrounded everything that he did, that guns would misfire. Is there anything about that in there? I just thought that was kind of a funny take.
Oh, there's a very funny scene with Sarah Jane Moore, who was also a Gerald Ford assassinator.
Right, she was. She was like a mother of three or something, wasn't she?
Yeah, a very funny scene between her and Squeaky Fromm. While they are together, we don't know, but they're waiting to assassinate Gerald.
And of course, Squeaky is more famous, really, as a member of the Manson gang, I would think, than as a real.
Were there many female assassins? Presidential assassins?
Sarah Jane Moore and Squeaky are the only two that are presidential assassins.
Is Hinckley kind of loony in your...
Yeah, in a way. It's interesting because the dramaturg has done research on different types of assassin, and there's really only in the history, as far as they can tell, only two assassins. Maybe the one who tried to do Andrew Jackson in was politically motivated too, but everybody else had a personal agenda, and it had nothing to do with politics, and had nothing to do with the way that the world was running. But Booth, who tried to do Lincoln, or who did do Lincoln, and Czolgosz, who did McKinley, were the only two that were kind of supposedly sane.
Exactly, sane and politically motivated.
So yeah, Hinckley was on one of those who was just
had a separate agenda.
Yeah, Jodie Foster being...
Does Jodie have a role in this thing?
No, Jodie doesn't have a role, except that she's sung about them.
She's the motivator.
Now, when one thinks about songs that you would sing about assassins, I mean...
Well, the piece, I think maybe we should talk about the piece in a way, because it's very, very strange in that it's very episodic. It's very much like a review, not like
the old musicals.
Not like a show.
Soft show about the presidential assassins.
Yeah, that's the thing. The cast, for the most part, is a bunch of presidential assassins, and these people are from different time periods. They have scenes together. They just appear together. They talk together. They do interact. They do songs together.
Exchange tips.
Well, kind of. I mean, the play is kind of, you kind of see everybody, a little piece of everybody's story, and then there's also another character called the balladeer, who kind of acts as a narrator in a few scenes. And then at the very end, there's a song between all the assassins and the balladeer, where they kind of face off. The assassins force the balladeer off the stage, and then kind of take over the show. And then they all descend. I don't know how much we should talk about this, actually. They all
tell him the title of this song, because that's kind of interesting.
Which,
Another National Anthem.
Another National Anthem is the song that they take over the show with.
The Assassins version of the National Anthem.
Ooh. Well, don't tell us what it is. But
now, are these assassins full of remorse, or are they like pretty pleased with what they've done, or?
Oh, we have done some studying about each individual assassin, and
tell us
a lot of them come from very dysfunctional lives. Well, of course,
you'd think so.
The whole Manson family.
Yeah, I mean, you don't come from like a nice little family. Shoot a president.
These aren't your typical crazy people, though. I mean, these are people who've been able to control themselves their whole life. Until this breaks out. You know, they're the meek ones. They're the people who've dealt in society for the most part. Maybe Squeaky, being part of the Manson people, were kind of different.
Already, a little out there.
So she's had a taste of it and decided to go one step further, I guess. You know.
I think they seem related to each other. The Manson thing, you know, she sat outside the courthouse, had the swastika carved in her head. But the Manson thing was so out there, was so well, I guess it was political in a way, radical, revolutionary political, but it wouldn't have had anything to do with her shooting Ford.
Well, she shot at Ford because she wanted there to be a trial and Charles Manson would get to be a witness and he'd be on TV and he'd save the world. That's an actual line from the
She
show.
did have a couple of screws, didn't she, Squeaky? Yeah,
Wow.
Squeaky.
And it's an X they put on their forehead. Manson did an X on his forehead and then he
changed it into a swastika because he thought the X just wasn't a hard enough statement. I guess.
Right.
Well, he's probably not thinking about he's going to have to apply for a job anytime soon, so having a swastika carved in his head is not going to be much of a drawback for him.
Are you a method actress? I mean, is this something you're taking home with you?
No, please.
Where's that razor blade?
I have some videotapes at home that I've actually watched Helter Skelter and a documentary on the Manson family. And I had them laying around the house, and my roommates picked it up, and they were watching them. And I talked to one of my roommates last night, and she said, you know, after you see that, it kind of stays with you all day.
Oh, yeah.
I was kind of freaked out all day over these killings. And
yeah, the guy who played Manson's great. Stuff the dudes watch.
Yeah.
The prosecutor's watch. You look at him with his eyes across.
It's gross. Her whole story is gross. Squeaky From's
Squeaky's
story.
what about her childhood? You said dysfunctional family story.
Basically, she was born in I believe that Santa Monica is what I want to say, somewhere in Southern California, and she was an army brat. Army brat, traveled around a lot, and her father was very, very strict. And one day they had a fight, and he told her to get out of his house forever. And she went down on the beach, and Charles Manson came along and looked at her and said, "Your daddy kicked you out," and she freaked her out because how could he know that? And then slowly but surely, she was the second member of the family and became Manson's favorite, and then the leader of the family when Manson
Right. She was
left. So she's
Well, what about? Well, Hinckley came from a well-to-do family. But
wealthy oil family. He was the youngest of 3 kids. The first 2 actually did very well. In fact, the dramaturg found out that nobody ever knew about Hinckley. Of the family friends never knew that there was even another son until he shot the president. That they never talked about him. They didn't like him. Things didn't go well for him. He was very reclusive, but he did well in school. He was actually class president when he was in junior high school.
Come on.
Yeah, I mean, it was a little.
Was it one of those like the schizophrenia that takes you over in adolescence? Yeah, there's.
You know, I don't know that they've. I mean, he's still alive. He's insane.
He might be watching the show. Hey, John, if you're watching.
Oh my God, I just saw him on TV the other day.
Take care, babe.
There was that big stink because that gate wasn't guarded, and he walked by it every day and all that other stuff. But I have talked to people who work with him now,
and what did they say?
Well, he's just so drugged up that he's really kind of not there.
Yeah.
But
don't shoot a popular president.
Right. If you shoot someone that nobody likes.
Yeah. Well, he thought if he shot Reagan, and that Jodie Foster would actually, it would prove to her
that he really loved her.
That it would be a good introduction. Actually, he never really went out of bounds with her. I mean, he would call her up, he would write her letters, slip notes under her dorm room door and stuff like that. But he actually never threatened her, never bothered her publicly. He kind of stayed within the bounds of propriety for the most part.
So the plan was he was going to go up to Yale or whatever and say, "Hi, my name's John Hinckley. I shot President Reagan."
He lived up there for a while. He spent time up there, hung around, and bragged that he was her boyfriend. Stuff like that. It was a little. I mean, he lived on donuts and Burger King. In fact, there's a story that he never threw away the wrappers. That he just lived in a house filled with McDonald's wrappers.
So, I mean, are you planning on porking up for this role and cutting? I know you have to cut your hair off.
I do have to cut my hair off.
Oh, that'll be sad.
I do have to cut my hair off, but no.
Oh, you've done it.
No, the show isn't. I mean, it's based in fact, but he doesn't stick to it. There's a lot that you can tell is just he takes a lot of artistic.
And the songs are.
Songs are different things. We sing a duet, basically.
The songs in this show I think are interesting because they kind of cover the whole gamut of what our song is. Kind of a popish Carpenter's type.
Every song has the feel of the period in which the assassination happened.
Wonderful.
So the Carpenters were kind of what they modeled our song after. Which was that period of time. Booth, it's very banjo-y and fiddly. And,
so now the show is at Gunston.
Yes.
Gunston Theatre.
Gunston in Theatre 2. It opens on
August 20th.
of August.
And who's directing that?
Eric Schaefer.
They directed Sweeney Todd last year. That's
and it won everything.
Oh, I know.
So you got your fingers crossed? Come on, let's do it.
Actually, I'm thinking about it too much. And I think it'd be a very strange. I have no idea how the audience is going to take the show. No idea.
I would say there's never been a better time to put on a play about
Really
assassins than now. You get a lot of sympathy.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Where are you when we need you?
But also, I mean, it's such a strange idea. I'm going to go watch, people sing
There are
about.
certain things, like for instance, it's only a one-act musical. It only lasts an hour and a half, and
Right.
and supposedly the reason behind that, John Weidman and Stephen Sondheim were sure that if they gave an intermission, that people would leave.
Oh,
So they wanted to
get
make it
them
just one
in,
act,
get the money.
see the whole thing, and they can't get out. They
That's
have
got
to
to
see the
stay
whole
compelling.
That's marvelous.
Because it's a little bizarre. You've got presidential assassins up there singing. I mean, the last song is "Everybody has the right to their dreams. Everybody has a right to some sunshine."
And we had none.
There was a
Well,
lot
and
of
it's the
things.
truth.
Knocking someone up.
Yes,
That's
yeah.
American as
But the thing is that audiences
Sunshine with murdering
misunderstand and think that you're purporting the role of the assassin in America.
To some extent, the president transcends humanness. I mean, at some point, you become a symbol that you are no longer a human being. I mean,
Exactly.
you are,
So
but I'm saying to
godlike
And
creature.
the thing is that these
Yeah.
guys, these people, for the most part, they're not murderers.
Right.
They're assassins.
Absolutely not. They
That's
never
a
killed
very different
anybody
type of
else.
thing.
Yep.
That's a different thing.
Of course, most murderers aren't murderers, like career murderers, unless you're in the Sicilian
Yeah.
Mafia.
What do you do?
Sicilian
Oh,
Mafia, could you cut that out? I mean, unless it's your job to kill people, most murderers, they murder one time and that's it. They got it out of their system. But assassins really are a different thing. They don't even see themselves as killing people.
No.
They see a flag or
Yeah, it's a big historical
Yeah.
moment. It's
their ultimate, their dream.
in a way, mom, dad, whatever. Somebody
Yeah.
as big as mom and dad were.
Yeah, they are far more often tragic figures than they are than people go, oh, hiss, boo,
Right, evil.
Sirhan, I think, is one where nobody really had a lot of sympathy for him because, they already killed one Kennedy and boom, we got one left and he shoots him. And now look what we got.
He's not in this play, actually.
Any of the presidents? Just the assassins?
Presidents are mentioned, I think, in...
Mentioned, Gerald Ford kind of has a cartoony type appearance.
We're not
Much like his
actually having him
presidency.
appear.
Yeah.
The first production
And,
had some presidents appear, but I don't think
Yeah.
we're...
What was sort of super slow-mo through the actual...
Yeah, in a way.
They're all their
People humming
pictures
in
are
the background.
plastered everywhere.
Oh, really?
Throughout the show. And
Oh, goodness.
the set's really interesting.
It's beautiful.
And nobody wanted the role of Gilgamesh or whatever his name was that shot McKinley, right?
Cholgosh.
Whatever.
Cholgosh is really interesting in
It's a
that
wonderful role.
he shot McKinley. It was like 8 hours later that he was tried, or the trial lasted 8 hours or something like that.
Right to a speedy trial. That's the
And they
United States.
executed him and then put him in a grave filled with sulfuric acid.
Oh my God.
Well, this is going to be ending roughly as fast as Mr. Gilgamesh. So
Well,
what was
I
it again?
Cholgosh.
Cholgosh.
Well, I hope that doesn't happen to either of your characters.
Or the
Especially
play. Let's hope it has a
during
long run.
Well, thank you very much for coming on the show.
Thank you for
Thanks for
having us.
And hopefully we'll get down there and see it.
Yes, I hope
Everybody
so.
else
Buy
should
tickets
too.
fast. They're selling out.
Yeah,
All right,
buy
good.
tickets fast, they're selling out.
That's right.
Signature Theatre at Gunston in Arlington.
And it sounds tremendously enjoyable. It's
Really
just the kind of
does.
thing I like.
Terrific.
Crazy guy.
Well,
There's
thanks,
some
it's
black
so
stuff on your head, do you know
interesting. You know, that's that bloody clown.
That bloody clown.
Bloody clown.
Changes growing like the laundry on the floor. Can you family
This is a really strange-looking creature here. These slippers really cover this up. Is that all right?
Marvelous.
They do match your marvelous nightie.
This is Guy Fluzey. Oh, yeah. Miles, now stop. I'm so sorry. I do apologise to my co-host.
I apologize for myself.
This is Debbie, who's just been molested by Miles. This is her husband, Bill.
Sorry.
All right.
The big guy.
And Libby and Mike.
Hello. Hello.
And this is Guy Fluzey.
Guy Fluzey. Guy Fluzey. Guy Fluzey.
Right.
So where did the name come from?
We're the guys known Fluzey.
I think we were just rattling off names, and this
Libby
one.
rattled the loudest.
Yeah.
Oh,
She
Libby.
just jumped out of her mouth and it was like, hey, that sounds pretty good. Good. So,
And
okay.
how long have you guys been together?
A little over a year.
Wow. And you're running away.
I'm going.
I know you are. To Czechoslovakia.
Right. But we're taping now, though, in the studio. So
Great.
That's good.
Where are you taping?
the Hat Factory studio. Our friend Tony French up in Baltimore. He's got a little home studio. He's doing a bunch of different bands with. He's got a little.
He does a very good job.
He's doing a great job. He's really enthusiastic. You know?
Yeah, that's the main thing.
Good thinker.
So you guys going to replace him?
really good.
Carry on?
Well, actually, we haven't thought it through yet.
This is the advertisement. They need a bass player.
We need a bass player. One who could
You
play
could just
Or two.
classical bass.
Doesn't go.
That's gonna be tough.
Yeah,
So where do you
that's a
play?
hard one.
Where do you play usually?
Roratonga Rodeo.
Yeah, Roratonga Rodeo.
Yeah.
We played at Finicky's.
Finicky's and Fairfax or Vienna.
Rotanga, that's my favorite.
This is a cool idea. It really is. I mean,
Little waves and all.
are your songs generally about this sort of thing? I mean, adult, intelligent looks at things. Goofy stuff.
Yeah, sometimes we get goofy. Sometimes we. Though actually, I don't think we have any goofy ones. Real goofy.
Well, you
ones
apparently
lately.
used to be in a band called the Slug Patrol, so I imagine something
that was
a little goofier.
That was a goofy. The funny goofy songs come from that. That's right.
Which were Slug Patrollers?
Bill and Mike.
Oh, Slug Patrol.
Yeah.
The Fluzies are new.
The heavy days.
The Fluzys are new?
Right.
Have you been doing this long? Singing?
No.
No?
Not at all.
You like it?
Never guess.
Yeah. Oh.
No, because you sing beautifully and you sing enthusiastically, like a Partridge Family member.
Right.
No, I mean,
All right.
I mean that in the nicest possible way. And
Day
you're just
is
singing
my idol. I
Oh,
just
man.
love
Okay.
Suzanne.
I model myself.
I followed his
Well,
groove
the
from
song,
day one.
I mean, I've heard is cheerful, peppy. You know, I mean, it's like a positive sounding song.
And you write them all yourselves? Is this like a group
yeah.
effort, or is this?
Bill writes most of them.
Yeah.
The last
Vast
one was
majority,
Bill
yeah.
and Libby wrote that.
Nice. I like your little thing in the middle there where you got to come out and go, hey, who started all this?
The Libby rap.
Yeah.
It's a good outlet, that's for sure.
Yeah.
For what? Why, you hate your job?
Coming home.
Yeah. Doesn't never
That
tell.
song's about
Just in case.
job hatred thing. Yeah.
Yeah, I think just playing music makes you hate your job only because playing music is so much fun
You wish you could do it all the
compared to
time?
work. Yeah. And for you acting in work.
Oh yes.
It's like you've come out, people throwing roses to the stage.
Right, then you go back to being
back at work,
office grudge.
Yeah, 500 copies of this.
Well, great.
Stop.
I'm much prettier than those girls.
Yeah, right.
Now you guys have another song for us?
Yeah, I guess we did.
I thought you were going to say no.
What-
I thought we were talking
Well,
about
that's the only song we got.
What's this one called? Well, what was the last one called first?
Last one was
Oh, you want
House Car Kids,
Oh, House Car Kids. Nice.
and this one is No Plans. I guess
No Plans?
making no plans.
For Nigel, or has Nigel got nothing to do with
No, Nigel has no plans anyway.
No, Nigel's not involved in this one.
Nigel's sister.
Well, that thing goes right through you.
It's
You sit in
great.
front of the stage,
It's
right?
beautiful too.
Vibrating.
It's nice.
It's incredibly musical. Sometimes you get a big bass drum like this.
My day passes with again. You see, I'm making no plans. Trying to see all that I can. Just hanging around till something comes up. Making no plans. Making no plans. No plans. Making no plans. Making no plans. Making no plans. With the world sitting right in front of my two hands, and I could take it if I tried. And I believe it's true, I know you do too. And we believe it's beginning of a brand new day for me. Ooh, yeah. Make no plans. 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 Make no plans.
The marvelous thing about that stand-up bass is not only does it cover the fact that your trousers are falling down, you can also dance with it.
Hey, do that Bill Haley thing, man.
I would, but this darn wire is going to go.
Oh, yeah, good point, good point.
Yes.
And I love the sort of casual toss of the barrel.
Did anyone ever tell you your voice sounds incredibly like Eric Clapton's voice?
Oh,
You hear that all the time, I bet.
it's all creamy.
No, actually, I used to listen to a lot of Eric, but
I never heard anybody else that did sound like it, but your voice just
we could do
sounds...
a cream
yeah, we
song.
did last time.
Yeah.
That was the first one.
We'll do a little something like Deserted Cities of the Heart, or the da-da-da-da-da. We just need another Jack Bruce, the real guy that play Arco.
Yeah, that's who we need, is Jack Bruce. Maybe we'll give him a
Hey,
call after he leaves.
See ya. Have a lovely time in Czechoslovakia.
Oh, gosh, yes. Have a wonderful time.
So now the tape from the studio is something that you're going to be hawking, I'm assuming, at your gigs? Or something you're
well-
going to be pushing for record labels too?
No, we're not.
Well, yeah, we did
Give them
this.
away almost for free.
Casually lay them.
Yeah, just about, but
If people want one, where would they send it? They're $10, right?
yeah, you should, I guess, maybe give us a call or something if you want more information, because I don't want them driving into my house.
Well, maybe we can contact the studio and we can get...
Okay,
Okay.
We'll put you in touch.
Well, thank you very much for coming on. Do you have something else for us? We want another song.
That's right.
So demanding.
Are you going to get the cockles back together in Czechoslovakia?
We might, because Tony's thinking about moving to Czechoslovakia.
Oh, boy.
And then
This one's a little harsher.
Harsher? Right,
Harsh.
harsh.
I think that you've got a lot of nerve. I hope you get exactly what